welcome back, or if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Tashika and this is Yes She Budgets. Here on my channel we talk about all things finance and life planning. So if you're interested in budgeting, saving money, paying off debt, and organizing your life, this is the channel for you. So please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you never miss a video. Videos are posted weekly. Today's video is going to be short but sweet and full of good budgeting tips, okay? Today we're going to discuss how you can create a simple but effective budget using the zero-based budgeting method. So let's get started. We're not going to use anything fancy today. We're not going to be digital or have a fancy budget planner. We're going to use the old school pen and paper, okay? So we're going to title this our monthly budget. Today we're going to simply go through about 4 steps on creating an effective budget. I know many of you may already budget or have your budget plan, but I just want to go over this method with you because I found it to be a very effective method for me and my household, okay? So let's jump right into it. The first thing that you want to do when creating a budget is you want to calculate your monthly income. So all the income that you have coming in for the month, you want to calculate that and you want to document it, okay? So if you have an irregular income, which means your income fluctuate, let's say that you're a barber or a beautician, your income may differ. So what you may want to do is take your bank statements for the last 3 to 6 months and look to see what was your lowest amount that you brought in for the month, and you can use that. Or you may just want to average the amount that you bring in monthly and use that. It's totally up to you. So for the purpose of this video, we're going to say that our monthly income, we're going to say we have work income, and we're going to also say we have some other income. Let's say you have a side hustle or some other income coming in consistently each month. So we're going to say that our work income, which is going to be our 9 to 5, we're going to say that that is $3,000 a month. Our other income, we're going to just say that that's about $200 a month. Okay, so now we're at a monthly income of $3,200. Now that we have our income figured out, now what we want to do is write down and list all of our expenses for the month. And when I say all of our expenses, I mean everything that we spend money on throughout the month, okay? Don't leave anything out. Now, if you're anything like me, you may not be able to just off the top of your head list all of your expenses. So if that's the case, just grab your bank statements for the last 3 months, go through them and see what you're spending money on each month, okay? And you're gonna list out those expenses. Now, one of the tips that I wanna give when you're listing your expenses is to start with the most important expenses that you have, okay? And the reason that I'm saying that is because a lot of people may have more expenses throughout the month than they have income coming in. And that's okay. We'll talk about that in a later video on how to combat when your bills outweigh your income. Okay, so when you're listing out your expenses, you're going to list out the expense, the amount, and another thing that I like to list is the due date. Okay. So again, like I say, I want you to start with your most important expenses. And for me, that would be my 4 walls. And when I say 4 walls, that's basically the things that you have to pay to keep your house going, okay? So that can be your rent or your mortgage if you own your home. Let's say you have water. We're going to say you also pay electric. Let's say you have a car payment, so your car loan, then your car insurance. Something else that's very important is life insurance, especially if you have a family. Cell phone, I'm going to say you have internet. Let's say that you have a credit card. You may have one credit card or more. Then next, we have our groceries. We have our gas. We have our household items and supplies. We have to throw in our fund money if we can. If you have any personal spending, let's include that. And one of the last categories that I always like to include in my monthly budget is miscellaneous. And the reason that I list the miscellaneous category is for those unexpected expenses, those red light tickets or the parking tickets, just something that's unexpected that may come up throughout the month that you didn't necessarily budget for. Then you have a category to kind of help cover those expenses, okay? Now, this isn't my real monthly budget. This is just the mock budget that we're doing just to give you an idea of how you can come up with your categories and plug your numbers in and have your zero-based budget, okay? So we're going to say that our rent is $1,000. We're going to say that the water is $50 a month. The electric, we're going to say is $125. Our car payment, we're going to say is $300. The insurance, going to say $150. Life insurance, we're going to say $75. Cell phone, we're going to say it's $90. We're going to say that the internet is $100. We're going to say that the minimum payment on your credit card is about $40. Groceries, we're not going to even discuss groceries, but for the sake of this video, we're going to say that you spend about $400 a month on groceries. Gas, back and forth to work or your little entertainment on the weekends, we're going to say that that is about $150. Household, we're going to say we're going to put about $50 a month into household fun. We're going to give ourselves $50 a month for fun. Maybe take ourselves out to a dinner or to a movie. Personal spending, we're going to say we spend about $100 a month on personal. And for the miscellaneous unexpected expenses, we're going to give ourselves $50. Okay, let's go in and fill in the due dates. The rent, we're going to say is on the 1st. Water, we're going to say is the 1st. Electric, we're going to say is the 5th. Our car payment, we're going to say our car payment is due on, let's just say, the 7th. Our car loan, we're going to say is on the 10th. No, I'm sorry, our car insurance, we're going to say is on the 10th. The life insurance, we're going to say is the 12th. Our cell phone, we have a pattern going here. We're going to say the 14th, might as well stick to it. The internet, we're going to say is the 16th. Our credit card payment, we're going to say is due on the 18th. Okay, so those are all of our fixed expenses that do not change, and they have the same due date. They have the same due date each month. So those are what we call our fixed expenses. Now, usually our variable expenses don't have a due date. And when I say variable expenses, I'm talking about things like groceries, gas, household. It's just basically expenses that we have that varies from month to month and how much we spend on them, okay? So our budget now consists of our 4 walls, the things that help our house to, to keep going. We have our obligations, such as our car loans, our credit cards, and then we have our variable expenses. So let's go ahead and see how much we are spending each month in our expenses. So we have the $1,000. Okay, we definitely know that's not right, so I'm not sure where I went wrong. Let me try that again. And I hope you guys can see the calculator. Maybe y'all can help me find out where I went wrong the first time. Ooh, gotta concentrate. Yeah, that looks more like it. Believe it or not, I really, a lot of times, just do the math in my head because I'm a little better at with the numbers in my head than the calculator. But we have 2730 as our monthly expenses. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna deduct our expenses from our monthly income. So our monthly income we have at 3200. Our monthly expenses are 2730. Now the good thing about this is that we are in the green, which means we have enough money to cover our monthly expenses. That's a good thing. So let's do the math. Yes. Okay, so we're going to have $470 left over after we deduct our expenses from our income. Now, a lot of times, this is where people stop when they're creating their budget. They say, okay, all of my expenses are paid, and I have a $470 a month to play with. No. You want to keep going. You want to make sure that you zero out your monthly income, okay? So one of the things that I do is to make sure that I know where all of my money is going. Have you ever gotten to the next month and some things pop up, or you're just looking at your account and you're like, I don't even know what I did with the money. I know I paid my bills, or, I know I did this, but I'm not even sure where the rest of that $470 go. That's one of the reasons that it's good to follow the zero-based budget. You want to give every dollar of your monthly income a place to go. So what we call in the budget world, we call sinking funds. And these are just basically expenses that you do normally have. They're just not a part of your monthly income, but you spend money on them anyway throughout the year. Sinking funds, you can have a sinking fund for Christmas. Let's say you have children or people that you buy birthday gifts for. You can have a sinking fund for that. So let's go ahead and make sure that we create some sinking funds so that we can allocate our money to a specific category and zero out this income, okay? So let's say gifts. I'm going to use gifts, and I'm going to say for the year, this category I'm going to use to buy all birthday gifts, anniversary gifts, and Christmas gifts. So we're going to name this sinking fund gifts. Let's say that you're a parent and you have children and they're school age. I know what it's like to have to come up with tons of money. I have 3 children, and I had to buy clothes, shoes, school supplies, and everything for them that got pretty expensive every year for back to school. So let's say that we have back to school sinking fund. Let's say that you're a member at Sam's Club and your annual membership fee. So we're going to say a Sam's Club sinking fund. Now, even though this is not technically a sinking fund, it's part of your savings category, but you can place this here. Again, a budget is personal. You can set it up the way you want to, as long as you're following the blueprint of zeroing out your income, okay? So we're going to say an emergency fund. We need to make sure that we have some money set aside for those expenses that come up that let's just say you have a flat tire and you need to buy another tire, or the washer or dryer go out and you need to either get it fixed or purchase a new one. So this is not a part of the monthly miscellaneous unexpected expenses. This is another category where you're saving for, it's kind of like a rainy day fund, okay? And then let's say that you also have a personal savings. You may or may not be able to save depending on your budget and how much you have left. You may or may not be able to save in this category just yet. But if you are, make sure you always have your personal savings, okay? So let's go ahead and allocate this money to our sinking funds. So we're going to say that the gifts, we're going to give that $125 a month. Back to school, we're going to give that about $100 a month. Sam's Club, that if you're a Plus member, it's about $110. So we're going to say we're giving that $10 a month. We're going to add $100 a month to our emergency fund. And then our personal savings, we're going to say we're going to give that about $100 a month as well. Okay, so let's total that up. And we have $435. Now I know you're saying $435, that's not the total $470. And no, it's not. But one of the things that I wanted to include in here is like when you have debt. So you see how you have a credit card or you have car loans. If you're able to, you want to try and put some money, extra money towards your debt so that you can pay those obligations off sooner, okay? So we're going to call this an extra debt payment. Now, if you don't have any debt, you're just going to throw this into one of those sinking funds, okay? Probably the back to school or the emergency fund. Okay, so we're going to say each and every month, outside of the minimum, well, in addition to the minimum credit card payment that we're making, we're going to give an extra $35 so that we can pay down that credit card sooner. Now we have zeroed out our income and we have set our monthly budget. And this is the plan that we're going to follow for our finances each and every month so that we can take control of our finances, okay? Now, one of the things that I want to do is give you 3 tips in regards to when you're setting your monthly budget, okay? When you're setting your monthly budget, the first thing you want to do is establish your why. What do I mean by that? You want to know why it's important to you to set this monthly budget. The reason that you want to establish a why is because this why is going to be your motivation on those months or those weeks that you just unmotivated, that you're tired, that you don't feel like it. You're going to use this why. You're going to make it big enough to you that it's going to give you the motivation that you need to get up and make sure that you're following this plan, make sure that you're doing this each and every month because you want to reach your goal, okay? Next thing I want to tell you is to find a budgeting style that works for you. You're going to see a lot of budgeting styles and you may be tempted to try and mimic those styles. You have digital budgeting, you have the fancy budget planners, you have the pen and paper, you have the Excel spreadsheets, you have many different budgeting styles, but you're going to choose a style that is comfortable to you. Like myself, I used to be a pen and paper, then I went to the fancy budget planners. I've done them all. Particularly now, I love the digital planning, but I consider myself a hybrid planner because I use pen and paper, and then I also use the digital format. But you're just going to find a style that works for you, okay? And the third and final tip that I have when you're creating your zero-based monthly budget is give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. The reason I say that is because when you're starting to budget, in the beginning, you're motivated, you're focused, you're excited, but then you run into some hiccups. The math is not mathing, life start lifing. Things begin to happen that can throw you off track and that can discourage you. And if those things, not if, but when those things happen, it may just push you over the edge and you say, you know what, I quit. I didn't do like I was supposed to do. I missed this month, or I totally forgot to track my spending that month. Give yourself grace. Don't beat yourself up. This is not a fly by night, oh, okay, I've decided to do it and I have it all together type of thing. You're forming a new habit. You're forming a new routine, and that takes time. If you mess up this month, that's okay. Get back on the bandwagon and follow up the next month. You're going to have some months that are going to go extremely well and you're going to knock it out the park. On those months, give yourself kudos, but on the months or the weeks that things do not go the way that you necessarily hope that they went, give yourself grace, okay? All right. Well, thank you. Again, like I told you, this was going to be a simple but effective method that you can use to start getting your finances in order so that you can reach your financial goals. Till next time, see you later, Budget Boos. Bye-bye.